Hello Vita, good morning. Welcome to my channel. My mother seemed to notice that I was not entirely convinced. She looked at me reprovingly and after that we spoke no more about it. Meanwhile, I had arrived at the station without having paid much attention to the things on the way. I was walking in familiar places again for the first time since the war, but I did not want to go further than was necessary. I didn't want to upset myself with the sight of streets and houses full of memories from a previous time. In the train back, I saw Mrs. Darling in front of me again, as I had the first time I met her. It was the morning after the day my mother had told me about her. I had got up late and coming downstairs, I saw my mother about to see someone out, a woman with a broad back. There is my daughter, said my mother. She beckoned to me. The woman nodded and picked up the suitcase under the coat rack. She wore a brown coat and a shapeless hat. Does she live far away? I asked, seeing the difficulty she had going out of the house with the heavy case. In Marconi Street, said my mother, number 46, I remember that. Her mother noticed that she was not convinced and looked at her critically. After that, they never talked about the incident again. She reached the station without noticing any details on the way. She passed the familiar things after the bar for the first time. She didn't want to upset herself with the familiar sights of houses, streets that reminded her of all the precious times. Back in the time, she saw Mrs. Darling in person a day after her mother told her daughter about her. She woke up late that morning and as she was going downstairs, she saw her, the lady with broad back. Her mother was seeing her out. Her mother introduced the protagonist to the lady. She signaled to her and the woman responded with a nod. She picked a suitcase under the coat rack. She was wearing a brown coat and sleeveless hat. The protagonist asked her mother if she lived far away. The mother told her the address, Marconi Street, house number 46. She remembered it. And then I had remembered it, but I had waited a long time to go there. Initially, after the liberation, I was absolutely not interested in all that stored stuff, and naturally, I was also rather afraid of it. Afraid of being confronted with things that had belonged to connection that no longer existed, which were hidden away in cupboard and boxes and waiting in vain until they were put back in their place again, which has endured all those years because they were things. Endured means suffered. But gradually, everything became more normal again. Bread was getting to be lighter color. There was a bed you could sleep in unthreatened way. A room with the curious about all the possessions that must still be at that address. I wanted to see them, touch, remember. After my first visit in vain to Mrs. Darling's house, I decided to try a second time. Now, a girl of about 15 opened the door to me. I asked her if her mother was at home. No, she said. My mother is doing an errand. Errand means some little work. No matter, I said, I will read for her. She remembered the address, but she looked too long to visit the place. After the freedom, she was, on one hand, not interested, and on the other, was afraid. She was afraid of getting confronted with the past memories and connections that no longer existed. Connections were hidden in cupboard and boxes. It seemed that Those memories were waiting in vain to put them back to their places as they had suffered all these years because they were only things. Things were getting normal in the protagonist's life, but one day she got curious about all the things that were still at that address. She wanted to see them and touch them after the first hopeless visit. She decided to try one more time. When she reached Mrs. Darling's home, a girl of 15 years opened the door and protagonist asked her about her mother. She told her that she was outside doing some errands, which the protagonist decided that she would wait for her. I followed the girl along the passage. An old fashioned iron Hanukkah candle holder. Hanukkah means the feast of light, a heavy festival in December. Next to mirror, we never used it because it was much more cumbersome than a single candlestick. Cumbersome means unmanageable. Won't you sit down? Asked the girl. She held open the door of the living room and I went inside past her. I stopped, horrified. I was in a room, new and did not know. I found myself in the midst of things I did want to see again, but which oppressed me in the strange atmosphere or because of the tasteless way everything was arranged. Because of the ugly furniture or the muggy smell that hung there, I don't know, but I scarcely dared to look around me. The girl moved a chair. I sat down and stared at the woolen tablecloth. I rubbed it. My fingers grew warm from rubbing. I followed the lines of the pattern. Somewhere on the egg, as there should be a burn mark that had never been repaired. My mother will be back soon, said the girl. I have already made tea for her. Will you have a cup? Thank you. The protagonist followed the girl along the passage, and there was a Hanukkah candle holder hung next to a mirror. She remembered that she never used it, door never used it as it was unmanageable. The girl asked her to sit down as she opened the door for the living room. She stopped and she was disturbed. She was standing in a room which she knew and she didn't. She was standing in the middle of the things which she didn't want to see and they burdened her. Maybe because of the because of the way things were arranged or the humid smell in the room or the ugly furniture, she scared to look at everything. She sat down on a chair which the girl pulled out for her. She looked at the woolen tablecloth. She rubbed it and her finger felt warm. As she followed the lines of the pattern, she remembered a burn mark that was never repaired. The girl told her that her mother would be back soon and asked if she would like to have a cup of tea. She answered, "Thank you." And your last paragraph, I looked up. The girl put cups ready on the tea tables. She had a broad back, just like her mother. She poured tea from a white pot. All it had was a gold border on the lid. I remembered she opened a box and took some spoons out. That's a very nice box. I heard my own voice. It was a strange voice, as though each sound was different in this room. Oh, you know about them. She had turned around and brought me my tea. She laughed. My mother says it is the antique. We have got lost more. She pointed round the room. See for yourself. I had no need to follow her hand. I knew which thing she meant. I just looked at the still life over the tea table. As a child, I had always fancied the apple on the pewter plate. We use it for everything, she said. Once we even ate off the plate hanging there on the wall. I wanted to so much, but it was not anything special. I had found the birthmark on the table cloth. The girl looked questioningly at me. Twitter plate means plate made of a grey early after. Explanation of these lines. The protagonist looked up. She saw the girl put 2 cups of tea in front of her. She had a broad back just like her mother. She poured tea from the teapot and it had a gold border on the lid. She opened a box and took some spoons out of it. The protagonist complimented the girl about the box. She felt weird hearing her own voice. It was sounding different to her. As the girl turned to give her a cup, she asked if she knew about the box. Then she added that it is antique. According to her mother, she pointed around the room and said that there are more. She told her to say, although the protagonist did not need to follow her direction. She knew what she was talking about. She glanced over the tea table. She remembered how she used to fancy the apple on the Twitter plate. The girls shared that they used the plate for everything. Once they ate of the plate that were hanging on the wall, the girl wanted to eat off that plate too, but it was not anything special. The protagonist found the birthmark on the tablecloth. The girl looked at her in a question. Okay, this is your chapter, and thank you. Have a nice day for tomorrow.